Now, earlier today, we found out that the main event of GFL 1, May 24th, Shrine Auditorium, Los Angeles, California, will in fact be a trilogy fight between Renan Barao and our old friend Urijah Faber. It is in fact happening. They announced it. Let's talk to the California kid himself, who's kind enough to join us. Our first ever guest. Ooh, there he is. Hello, Urijah. You're looking like a young man. California, man, no more. You're back. The California kid is back. Urijah. That's still your voicemail, Joe Martinez.
Yeah, that was from, I think it was somewhere in Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, maybe? Something like that.
You're back.
Yeah, man.
They announced it today.
I wasn't predicting it either.
Did you know that? They announced it today?
Yeah, I just saw that. I've been getting text messages and stuff.
So what'd you just say there? You wouldn't have predicted it?
No. I wasn't looking for a fight, but here we are.
So how did this all happen? Can you tell us?
So, first off, my contract ran out with the UFC after 5 years of inactivity. I didn't really have I didn't have many offers come through. I wasn't really asking for a fight. As you know, I stayed really busy and, sorry, I just got out of practice. I'm starving.
No problem.
But,
you're actually training. That's a good sign. I mean, it's good you're taking it somewhat
I've been training for a couple months. I mean, so what really happened is my contract expired after 5 years with the UFC, and I'm in this business group, entrepreneurs organization, and one of my guys in there, Tyler Smith, has all of our team, except for me, in that group on this health kick. Like, he calls it the GWOAT, the greatest health of all times, and he's launching this business called 100.com. And so, I've been staying in the testing pool my entire time with the UFC. I had that, the one little moment where they talked about me and Cub Swanson having a fight, but no, nothing ever got really talked about. I talked to Cub about it a couple times. We thought it was going to happen, and then he was like, somebody told him, Uriah's not going to really fight, blah, blah, blah. But no one really offered me the fight. And like I said, I'm not looking for a fight. In the time I've been retired, I think I retired, I was number 6 or 7 in the world. Came out of retirement, had 2 fights. I think I've done like 10 competitions throughout that time, mostly jiu-jitsu, some combat jiu-jitsu. This last year, I did a match against Bibiano Fernandez out of in Abu Dhabi. And then I did a match with Jeff Glover, both world champions, and just staying busy and stuff. So I get on this regimen after I get out of the testing pool, and I'm like, let me see what's going on with my body. I've never been tested, my blood, my saliva, anything. I've never tested for my testosterone. And so my boy at the 100.com, Tyler, is like, dude, we want you to get on the first protocol. They haven't even launched the business yet. So I get all this test, and I do 140 markers. They take like 14 vials of blood, and they do a saliva test to test your biological age, and the goal is to like reverse your biological age. So before I even heard about any type of fighting or anything, I started on this like greatest health of all time kick, and that was about 2 months prior to accepting a fight. So and again, I like to compete. I'm coming up on my birthday is May 14th. Most competitions I've done outside of retirement have been right around my birthday. So I started getting on this regimen, and it tells me all this stuff. First thing I found out was my testosterone, naturally, I've never done any PEDs or anything, as you know, is like a high 27-year-old, which was relieving. You don't really know.
Yeah.
And then they go on and they tell me all the stuff I'm deficient in. I've got these vitamin packs that are basically made just for me. All the stuff I'm needing to put in my body. I've got like scoops of this, scoops of that. They got me on a regimen. They told me dietary changes, and I started feeling amazing, and I felt good anyways. I've been in the gym the whole time, and started feeling like the best I've ever felt. And then I happened to give a speech. This is the same day I accepted my fight, or that I got the offer of the fight. I give a speech to the team. Every day after practice, we talk about different things, and I talked about how if you could maintain your body, the 90-year-old sensei would be the baddest dude on the planet. If he's staying in the game, his mind's in the game, he's still turning and still in the gym and improving and doing all the things that are still mixed martial arts or martial arts first. The 90-year-old sensei would be the baddest dude on the planet if he had his body intact. And I gave that talk to the guys, and that night I had gotten an email from Darren Owen. And I remember I talked to Anthony Pettis, and he said, "Hey, yeah, I'm working on this deal, and these guys have been checking out and everything else." And it was from the GFL guys. And I wasn't really like I said, looking for a fight. When they offered Barao, or the possibility of Barao, that sounds fun to me. He's also a guy that has 2 wins over me. He's a guy that doesn't necessarily. We didn't have a perfect meetup both times. It wasn't like it was scheduled and this and that. Like the first time he was a fill-in for Dominic Cruz. The second time I was a fill-in for Dominic Cruz. He's got 2 wins over me. I wasn't super happy with the way the last one went, the preparation, the call at the end of it and everything else. And I've got all these guys. I went listen to my guy that I look up to that I become friends with, Jesse Itzler, who's doing these crazy races and testing his body all the time. I've got all these guys doing these crazy things to test themselves as they've gotten older. And for me, this seems like a perfect opportunity. And on top of that, it's risk versus reward. These guys are paying real money. And at this point in your career, I've been retired for 5 years. I've stayed super active as a competitor with grappling against the world's best. I've been in the gym every single day, mentoring, rehashing my techniques, breaking down film and passing on to the next generation. And 15 minutes is easy for me, man. I could fight 15 minutes of my sleep. I'm excited to get in the greatest health of all times, but now with a purpose. It goes right in line with what I'm doing with 100.com and something to kind of hold up at the end of this journey and actually compete in something that I love to do. So everything just kind of aligned. And it's going to be a financial raise for the business stuff I have going. It's going to be something that I can show my kids the process. Now 4 and 6, my son's having his first walk through day at the kindergarten with his sister. They're now of age where they can enjoy and take in everything that's going on, see me working hard, see things coming to fruition. There's just a lot of things that pointed to yes for me. And as most people know, I just do things as I want. I don't care what anybody says or thinks or people's opinions. I do what makes me feel good. I retired when I was 6th in the world. I came out of retirement when I was 40. I've done competitions here and there, but really it just sounds like a good time. It seems like a lucrative deal, and it sounds like something that I think I can get one back on Barao. I own one.
I love it. I appreciate that explanation. Could I ask, you've been in the game a long time initially, and it seems like a lot of the guys in there are buds. You hear of someone coming in, there's big plans, grandiose plans. Did you do your due diligence? I think a lot of people are I spoke about this at the top, like, okay, I know these names, I'm down, but can they last? Are they, I remember Affliction, right? We've seen a lot of people come and go. And I'm sure you've seen your fair share as well, and you've heard of your stories. Did you do your due diligence to the point where you felt like, all right, I'm down, sign me up?
The biggest thing for me is I'm not the type of person that tells somebody they can't, and I truly believe that Darren Owen believes in himself, and so whether I believe him or anyone else believes in him, you believe in him, doesn't really matter. We'll know when the first show happens. I've talked to Andy Foster, who's in communication with him. He's the commission, leader of the commission in California. They're taking some precautions to make sure things are up to par. I'm already getting myself into amazing shape even prior to hearing this. And what do I love to do? I love to fight. I love to be a competitor. So, he's got some big goals and a unique setup. I think the first show is going to be big. He has this first show go through. Everybody gets paid and things go the way he says they're going to be. I think that we're or looking at something that has some legs. And I've had a chance to talk to him one-on-one about what his real goals are. And for me, I like that it's not, I don't like things that are in spite of UFC. I have a lot of respect for the UFC. I have so much gratitude to the leadership there. Even, had conversations with the leadership prior to accepting this thing. And even though I wasn't under contract, and just making sure that, sometimes you don't want to go faux pas and do things that are going to damage relationships. And maybe they will behind the scenes, but I wanted to be out in the open and say, hey, look, this is what I'm considering doing, because I do a lot of business with the UFC also. But I don't like things in spite of UFC. I think this is so much different. It's got a whole different idea. It's not like something that's trying to bring them down necessarily. It's creating more opportunities for fighters, and there's some big dollars involved, and that's great for fighters. I mean, if I can get opportunities for my guys in the future, that's great. And whether this idea works out, I mean, I don't know. We're yet to see. But the first show is going to mean a lot, and I'll be a part of that first show, and the proof will be in the pudding. When the show happens, there's a great performance by everyone involved. When the money gets in the bank, then we'll know. And I'm willing to continue on a journey of doing something that I love to do, whether I know it's going to happen or not. I'll know the day of the fight. That's the way I look at things, and I'm going to have fun preparing. I'm thinking about doing some cool stuff. I might head out to Mexico and do like a engaged, fan engaged training camp at my buddy's place. He has this amazing place in Punta Sayulita, my favorite place in Mexico. I was actually just there, and thinking about ways to have fun in this process, because at this day and age for me, it's not about just the money or just the competition. I'm not like vying to be the world champion of the UFC right now at 45, nearly going on 46. I'm going to prepare to the best of my ability. I'm going to put my best performance out. I'm going to fight tooth and nail. I'm going to try to get one back on a guy that's one of the greatest, world champion, somebody that has a one up on me, and I'm going to enjoy the process. I'm going to lead my camp with my heart and my best intentions, and I'm going to make my kids proud. And that's the way I'm approaching this thing. And I look back at some of my favorite fighters throughout the years. George Foreman just passed away. George Foreman fought till he was 48. Dan Henderson, 46. Randy Couture, 47. Bernard Hopkins, 51. And, the guys that were made for this fighting game, that haven't been plagued by injuries and that kind of have it in their DNA, we can last. And these big breaks are powerful for me. I feel so much better after healthfully being on vacation for years at a time, and that's what I've been.
Not to get ahead of myself, but are you thinking of multiple fights, or is it just get back in there with an old rival, get that win, and then you're good?
I think probably see how I feel after this one.
Yeah.
I don't have to fight. I love to fight, but if it takes a lot out of me and it's not the process that I enjoy, and it's not a fun experience, I'm definitely not going to do it again. But you never say never, and I won't be doing it for very long. That's for sure. I've got 46 fights now. I'm 45. This will be right around my birthday, turn 46, which for me will make a 23 years of competing at the highest level. That's kind of exciting for me. So I'm down with to do one if something sounds enticing again. I know that I was excited for that Cub Swanson one, even though I never got the call.
What happened there? What is that? What is that story?
So Cub Swanson had a great fight, and then they asked for his dream match, and they said that he sat and thought at the press conference, and he said, I'd like to do like the King of California with Urijah Faber. And I responded and said, yeah, let's do it. And then I texted him offline. I was like, you serious? I said, I'm down. And he said, yeah, but we're talking about the different weight, 35s and 45s, this and that. And I said, I'm down to do it. And then I think he had taken another fight afterwards, lost. And then it kind of petered out. I asked him again. I said, what's going on? He said, oh, something to do with these kids. And he was like pushing things off. And then the last I spoke to him was like this last year about it at the PI. I saw him and I said, whatever happened there? And he said that he talked to someone at the UFC, maybe matchmaker or something, and said that Uriah is just not going to take a fight. He's just talking about it, blah blah. And so they never, they never offered the fight. But that kind of fight sounds exciting. I don't know who else is on the roster in the GFL, but for the compensation they're doing, it's worth the hard work. We're prize fighters. I've done a lot with the money I've made throughout the years to the UFC, and I'm grateful for that. I've also been very grateful of how I've been treated as a person within the organization. Not everybody feels that way, but I for one can say I had a great experience with the UFC. I was a guy that they promoted and I worked well with, and I had great relationships with. So I wouldn't be opposed to having a fight. It just has to excite me.
Were you nervous on draft day? Because you are the California kid. You represent, and you ended up. It was almost like LeBron getting drafted by the Cavs. But could you imagine if you would have been drafted by New York or Sao Paulo? It would have been weird. You ended up getting LA, so it was great. But were you nervous?
Yeah, no, I haven't been nervous in a very long time. Maybe probably like a lot of years.
Never. You don't get nervous about anything, really?
Yeah, I get nervous about things, but not very much.
What makes you nervous? How do I adopt this mentality? I'm constantly nervous. I feel like I'm just a nervous ball, a ball of anxiety. How do I adopt this, or is it impossible? Is it too late for me?
You got to buy my book, Ariel.
I know.
You said you read it.
I was thinking.
You said you read it, but then I quizzed you on it, and you hadn't.
No. Now you got to write a second book with this new chapter.
I have to write a second book, and I was thinking about this. Because I wrote that when everything, and you asked me before, like, why now? Why when you're young? And I'm blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
Why write a book now? And I was like, well, because I had something to say and I wanted to. And I was relevant at the time, And so I need to do a second version, read through, and see if I believe the same stuff is tainted, all the stuff I've been through, what I know now. See if I have all the same views that I had at like 27, 28, 29 years old. I'm sure a lot of them will be the same, but the one thing I quizzed you about the book that you didn't remember is you said you kind of like did a little bird slide. You said, I like the stories, but I don't love all the advice. I said, did you read the very, very end? The very, very end says, this is my experience. This is my knowledge that I've taken from my experience. I hope you get something out of it, but I encourage you to take your own experiences, make your own laws.
I don't think, by the way, knowing myself, I would say there's probably like a 99.99999% chance that I did not say to you that I didn't like the advice. That is not something that I would do or say to a guest.
You didn't say I didn't like it. You said you liked the stories more.
Okay, see, here you are. And all of a sudden, there's now some holes in your story. First, you're trying to pay me to be a bad guy, be inconsiderate. You've been holding on to this grudge for at least 15 years now. It's unbelievable.
How you been, man? What's been new with you?
Nothing. We're here.
Enough about little old me.
No, you're the news. You're the news. You know what's crazy? I asked you to come on the show. I didn't even know they were announcing it today. How fortuitous is that? Yeah, I had no idea. But here we are, 45 years young. Of course, you've got, you've got Alpha Male. You got the thing we see. You're with Josh Emmett this weekend, right? Are you going to be with him?
I'm going to try to get out there, yeah.
What do you mean try to get out there? You're not in his corner?
I'm not in his corner. I've never been in Josh's corner. I help coach him.
Yeah.
He's one of my peers, someone I've worked with his whole career, but I've never been in his corner for one of his fights. But we have Yan Zanyao, Sumo Jari, and Darren Elkins in Florida next week, too.
Oh, yeah.
They're all on the card. I'll be out there for those fights, coaching.
By the way, you were kind of in the news recently, not pertaining to all of this, because all of a sudden, Topuria and Oliveira going back and forth, and then we see a photo of them, a selfie, and you're in the picture. You see this? These guys are going back and forth, and there you are. You were with them in Sydney. But now they're... Oh, yeah. So was there... They look friendly now, like in this photo.
Those guys are the best, man. Those guys are legends. We just took a good... Yeah, that photo, I got a text from UFC media right after I took the picture and said, hey, can you send me that picture you took? Because we just saw on the video camera you guys took that picture. I said, yeah, sure. And I went out. I had to get some training with Volkanovski in Australia. Just, I was already training at that time. I was on my GOAT journey with 100. By the way, I got to get you... linked up. I'll get you hooked up with 100.com, dude. You're
going to make me healthier?
Bro, I'm going to tell you, I've never felt this good my whole career, I was never one of those guys that did all the testing and everything else. They told me exactly what I needed to change in my diet. They gave me this B12. They told me what I was low in um, on like my vitamins and stuff. And it was ironic because I've been cooking for my kids. I'm like AR for my kids. Whatever they're saying, I'm constantly getting better and making their life better. And so I've been cooking for them, and I've stopped cooking for myself as much. I just eat their leftovers. I'm like the dog at the end of the meal.
Yeah.
But all the stuff they were suggesting that I needed in my diet was the stuff I had neglected because I've been cooking for my kids. Like I used to make myself big salads with like avocado and all these different nuts and seeds and olive oil and and like some lean meats on it. Everything that I used to eat during the prime of my career was the suggestions it was giving me that I've gotten away from a little bit. On top of some supplementation and a bunch, they have a couple things that I couldn't take because that would be good for some peptides and stuff that I couldn't take for drug purposes. But I'm gonna try them once I get out. Once I get out of competition, I'm gonna follow what they do to a T. But I'll get you sign up on hunter.com.
Okay.
And it's concierge. So they came to my house and took my blood. They got me on a call with a doctor who ran me through my results, told me everything. They had a nurse sent to my house
Wow.
to help administer and run me through what I'm going to be doing. They check in with me all the time. They got the California Kid 100 vitamin pack, so I don't have to remember all my vitamins. I just pull them out. Look.
Wow.
Morning, evening.
Look at you.
Bro, this is exactly what I need because I would not be able to pull this off otherwise. So I'm sure you have a lovely wife that will take care of you, but
yeah, no.
This will make it so much easier.
Yeah, she doesn't give me vitamins and stuff, so I could use some of that. Hey there, sorry to interrupt. Just want to remind you, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. We would appreciate it very much. And while you're at it, give us a thumbs up too. We've got live shows, interviews, clips, and a whole lot more going on this here channel. All right, now back to the show. By the way, are we sticking with California Kid? We better. Don't listen to these people. I saw like Nathaniel Wood is changing his name, Prospect. Nah, stick with it, man. Go start. Just stick with it.
Ariel, do I give a crap about what anybody says? Come on.
No.
No.
By the way, you know what I love? You know what I loved?
What?
I heard we had Dom on the show, Dom Cruz, and he said that you reached out to him after he retired.
Yeah, I love Dom, man. We've had some.
Wow.
We've got a great
roller coaster
relationship throughout it. We even hit it off right before maybe our second fight because we had this weird experience in a military camp where we had to like work together and
you bonded
and we got away. And then now he's actually really good friends with some of my best friends in San Diego. So we've hung out a bit here and there, and respect for that guy. I feel like, that guy has earned my respect along with everyone else. So
you
excited for him, whatever's next.
You helped make each other. You guys are legends.
Yeah. And he's got a new podcast too. You gonna go on his podcast?
If he invites me, I don't know,
He invited me, so I gotta go on
must be
there.
Nice. By the way, what about Aldo? Still killing it, huh?
Oh, bro.
Isn't that crazy?
Aldo's one of those guys. Yoel Romero.
Yeah, but Aldo's in the UFC.
Aldo. I know.
It's wild. All these years. Timeless.
Well, how old is he?
Well, I don't know. Just the miles, the years. He's got to be in his late 30s. He's got to be his late 30s at this point. But this guy was beating Mike Brown to win the WEC title in 2009.
You know what's funny? You mentioned
38.
Mike Brown.
Yep.
Mike Brown, because I was just thinking about this. Like this happened. They did a coaches summit out at the UFCPI a few years back, and so they called a bunch of coaches, and they're getting best practices, and that's what I love about UFC. Like, as much you get all this BS. I mean, there's the class action suit, obviously, but for those years of them taking the money, they built an infrastructure and reinvested and forward thinking to help guys like myself build a brand where I'm worth big money now on a bunch of different levels of business and everything else. And so anyways, one of the things they did along that line is they had this coaches summit where they came in and brought in top coaches and everything else. So Mike Brown and I end up being in the same hotel, and our rooms weren't ready. And so, that's another guy that has 2 wins over me. And I said, "What do you got going?" I said, "Let's go over to the UFCPI and get a roll in." And he's like, "Fuck, all right." So, it was like, it was pretty epic. There's no one in there except for me and Mike Brown, and we did like a 40-minute hard grappling jiu-jitsu match.
Wow.
And just, because we're competitors and just going that kind of. So for me, this Barao match feels kind of like that. It's like, no ill will towards the guy, something to prove. I know he's younger, but he's also older in his career. I think he's 38, something like that. But I'm excited to go out there and test this, and I'm going to prepare like it's a world championship, and I'm going to bring my A game. And it's nice. It's 145 pounds instead of 135 pounds. But I remember that Mike Brown match just being like, that was for us, me and him to just, to get in there and test ourselves.
Shout out to A1 Combat as well. Shout out to Tom Anderson. You know Tom Anderson?
Tom Anderson, Dana White-ish.
Yeah, he always reaches out to me. He's always banging the A1 Combat drum. You guys produced Peyton Talbot, among others. You're still doing your thing.
Yeah, Ryan Loader. He won the Ultimate Fighter. He's one of our guys, and we have Joseph Morales is on the new season with Chill and DC.
Oh yeah,
he's one of our champions as well, and a bunch of other guys. The team's been awesome, man. We have so much young talent coming up, and so many things. In the till, like the team has been growing. It seems like we got multiple guys in the card, multiple every month in the UFC, and the A1 Combat's going hard. We got top prospects and all the other promotions that are building, and it's exciting, man. I'm working on some big stuff that is next level with the Combat U, with the Robot, I'm working on something called the Rome District, which is going to be one of its own, something that no one's seen before. It's been a lot of fun stuff, man. Aside from being the best dad in the world, or aspiring to be the best dad, I know a lot of people are vying for that.
You're the man, Urijah. Welcome back. It's good to have you back. I'm excited about this. And
what do you think about the rest of the card, man? A lot of big names on this.
But let's put up the card. Let's take a look with Urijah here real quick, because there's, I think, 15 fights on Saturday and 16 on Sunday. That's 31 fights in the span of 24 hours. Look at these names. There you are at the top. Urijah and Renan, Benson and Anthony. Another trilogy fight. Marlon Moraes against
Chad Mendez and Sage.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
Chad's looking like a beast right now. Oh my gosh.
Sage on there too. It's a lot of big names. Yeah.
We got Brunson.
Go full screen.
Edison Henderson.
Yeah.
Holly Holm.
Aspen Ladd, another woman that you know, right? Neiman Gracie.
Yeah, Aspen Ladd.
Gleison Tebow, Alex Oliveira.
Ray Borgen and Marlon Moraes. That's going to be a good one. Todd Duffy and
Despagne. He's great. Katzengano on there. I mean, it's just like, Holly. Oh yeah,
Penny.
It's crazy. And then that's Saturday, and then Sunday, Dylan Dennis against Tony Ferguson, Paige Van Zandt, Alex Gustafson.
Oh wow, Uriah Hall,
Verdum on there against the dreaded TBD.
Jimmy Rivera.
It's crazy, right?
You may not know him, but I do.
What do you mean?
Paige Van Zandt,
Phil Hawes. I mean, Jessica Aguilar's on there. It's a who's who. Now, obviously, you see a lot of the jokes. Oh, geriatric. They're too old to pass probably the geriatric fight league. I mean, what do you think? What do you think? Sustainable? Can they make it happen?
Well, I mean, from a business standpoint, things have to fall into line.
Yeah, they need a broadcast deal. Broadcast deal is important.
Broadcast deal, and then also, the team thing. I think the goal is these teams are going to be purchased by guys that want to own fight teams, have their own fight teams. I also think that he's doing maybe a pay-per-view model, which I don't know how that does. I haven't been up to date on how the pay-per-view model does, but 2 days, is a 1 day? Is it a 2 day? Is it same price? You can buy 2 for 1. I think, did they announce where the event is?
No, not yet. Oh, they announced where the event is, not where it's going to air. It's going to be at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. So a home game for you, so to speak.
Shrine Auditorium.
Are you familiar with it?
Yeah. I think that's on campus at maybe UCLA.
I think USC.
USC.
By the way, what about this graphic? I mean, I see Tony, I see Dylan, see Anthony. I don't see no Uriah in there.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
You see California in the background?
Oh, that's you. Yeah. Well, that's great.
What do you think, man? You gonna tune in?
I'm going to tune in, of course. I mean, it's part of the job, but I'm interested. Look, the UFC is killing it. They've never been more successful. They've never been more profitable. They're about to have a massive, massive TV deal that they're going to sign with God knows who. ESPN, Netflix, Amazon. These are billions upon billions of dollars, right? But part of that dominance, part of that success, there is a little bit, I think, if you're a fan who watches every single week for 43 weeks out of the year, you want something a little bit different, right? And we'll see if PFL can fill that void. The jury is kind of still out. I think they've lost some momentum. I think a lot of people recognize these names, have feelings towards these fighters, have been emotionally invested in their journeys, their careers, and they say, you know what? On a Saturday night, I'd be down to watch these guys. I'd be down to support. Now, if it was up to me, Uriah, I wouldn't put it on pay-per-view. I think you need to get people on board. You need to get them hooked. You need to make it as accessible as possible. But also, I could understand it ain't cheap to have all these names. So you need to recoup some of those costs. So, I don't envy them. It's a tough task. It's going to be a really interesting story to follow. But, I wish them the best. The one thing I would change, I don't like the team nonsense. Make the best fights possible. Make the biggest, best fights possible. That's it. Just worry about make the best, most interesting fights possible.
I guess the concept is, because if this thing is going to last, I think the concept is that you're going to get team owners that are now going to pay big dollars to get the best talent on the planet. And they're doing it first with the funds that have been raised or through the GFL. But eventually they want, like there's a difference between the budget between the A's and the Giants, right? It's all depending on the ownership group. And so
I get it. I'm
curious. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think the first thing needs to happen is we need to have one event, and I'm a part of it. So
main event,
I'll be
baby.
training as such, and I'm going to be putting out. I mean, I'm going to be in a fist fight, putting my livelihood, my health, and reputation, everything on the line. So I take that seriously, and I'm excited for that. How's the new show been going? I mean, how's everything going with you? Since you've been doing your own thing, you made some big announcements.
Yeah, we're all good. We're happy. I'm inspired by you. You're one of those guys. I said back in the day, you remind me of Oscar De La Hoya in that you had a lot of businesses, you had sponsorship, you were going to create your own promotion, you were going to be set up very well post fighting, and you have done that. And so I said, you know what? I can't just be owned. I have to be an owner. Why not me? I have to be an owner. I have to be the next Lorenzo Fertitta. I have to be the next Urijah Faber, the next big man on campus.
That's right.
Here we are.
That's right.
We did this partnership with Yahoo. Yes.
Don't forget.
Yes.
All the money, everything else is the freedom.
Yep.
Is important. That's what we're fighting for.
Yes.
To hang out with the people you want to, doing the things you want to do.
Amen.
That's entrepreneurship.
Yep.
And then also.
Yep.
Good health is true wealth. That's what I'm going to get you on 100.com.
And so I was just going to say, and for more on that, go to 100.com. This segment.
Just 100. Just 100.com.
Yeah, okay, just 100. HUNDRED. Do they want to sponsor our show? I mean, we gave them a lot of airtime here. Okay.
Let's get him on. I'll put you in touch with you're going to be in touch with the owner because we've only launched the first 100 founding members, and I'm the number one guy, but I'll put you on because he'll take care of you.
You're the man. Thank you, Uriah. Okay. All the best to you. Much love. Good luck. And we look forward to it.
You got it, brother.
You look fantastic, by the way. I just want to say that I like the hair. I like the ponytail.
I've got a company that I'm
Oh.
a part of called Hammer Nails. It's men's grooming, and
You look great. Whatever
we've
they're
got three
doing.
locations, three we're in Sacramento. We're going to do probably 20 in the greater Sacramento area, and then the bigger company we've got all nationwide. But I'm waiting to do a commercial. Me and Rome are going to go in there. We're going to get our pedicures.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to get cornrows together. His hair's long, so my hair's a little long right now, but I'm waiting to film this commercial for our brand, Hammer Nails.
Looks great.
I'll get you linked up with that too.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I know you'd like that. Take the boys for the boys.
Yeah. Much love. Thank you. All the best. There he is.
Brother.
The living legend himself. What a day for living legends, right? Masvidal, Perry, Faber. We start the day with Masvidal shitting on California, and we end with the face of California, the pride of California. I mean, how many businesses does this guy have? Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.